Welcome back. In today's video, I'm talking about my second favorite tool company, Klein. Now, a lot of people associate Klein with electricians or iron workers, but I think they have a lot of good tools for carpenters. So I'm going to show you 6 of my favorite right here. I think the last one is really going to surprise you. Let's get into it. So let's begin by talking about the Klein lunch pail. This thing is sweet because it does simple, but it does it effectively. I've had a lot of lunch pails that have a lot of different little gadgets or things that make it look like it's convenient, but realistically they're just more of a hassle. This thing it's built tough. All you have to do is just wipe it down and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about like a little separate compartment inside of it and that's like collecting dirt underneath it, or just extra stuff that you don't need. And as a carpenter, you just want to have less hassle, especially in the morning. You want to just go. I like this thing because not only is it solid plastic, there's no extra little slots on the side or anything like that that can get caught up and get dirt in them, but also the shoulder strap goes over top so that when you're not using it, it kind of has a second assurance of like not just springing open, right? That's just pretty sweet. So I like the fact that when I'm driving, a lot of times, even if you are being, the perfect driver, you have to slam on your brakes. When this thing just tumbles over, boom, it doesn't just fly open. Because a lot of times that's how you get food in your truck. They have to worry about, mildew smells because it's so difficult, especially if a full meal in your stuff, say you have a soup or something that has like milk in it. That is so hard to clean up. Having a lunch pail, so if something does happen, everything gets stuck inside of here. And again, there's no insert, there's no extra compartments to worry about. It's just right here. Just if it's dirty inside here, just wipe it out. Now, other side, it has a little spot where if you have drinks, you can sit them on this side. It has a little more height, you know what I mean? And then it has a place for maybe if you want to put snacks or something like in there, that's there. A good place to put like maybe condiments or something. So in case you don't want to have those get crushed by things, that's nice to have. So this is the only compartment you have. You don't have to worry about it because again, it's locked up and sealed, which I really like. And it doubles as a seat if you need it. I've had so many guys, they're smoking on their lunch break. They want something so they're not sitting directly on the ground. This thing definitely does that. I know a lot of other lunch pails do the same thing, but I think this one's quality and I think it's definitely worth it. I've had a lot of coworkers who've had their Klein lunch boxes for I think 6 years. And so that made me want to invest in a good one too. I've had this for about a year now, so I'm actually really satisfied with it. Now let's talk about the tumbler. This thing is really sweet. Now you see the grip on there, really nice. And I like the fact that the lid, you actually have to screw it on and off so that if it was to be inside of the lunch pail and things are sloshing around, it's not just gonna pop open. And I like the fact that this lid, the top, is not easy to get off. It's actually kind of difficult. So it's like, if this was to fall over, it's not just gonna spill out all over the place again. It is very hard to get, if you have coffee with a little bit of milk in it and this spills and then you don't have a chance to pull over and clean up real quick, that stuff gets in your car and it's just a nightmare to clean up. So I like the fact that if I have this, I know that I'm good to go. I'm safe to drive. If something was to happen, I'm not worrying about it. Again, this happens way more than you expect, especially if you're commuting 2 hours a day or an hour and a half a day. You're going to be slamming your brakes a lot. And then this is something that is also very, very convenient to fix that. The next thing that comes with that little pack was a little bottle opener. I don't drink beer, so this is not like a great selling point, but it is kind of cool that Klein makes a bottle opener, I guess, if you have like soda or whatever, but yeah, that's nice. So this is the combined set. This is everything you get in the set. So you get a good quality tumbler that keeps, the water cold or keeps things hot like a hydro flask, but has a better grip and it's made for construction workers. And you see in the bottom too, it has a non-slip surface. So if you put that on somewhere, it's not just gonna slide off, which is actually pretty sweet too. So there you have it. This is the Klein lunch pail. Now the next item is a Klein Chalk Box. This thing pretty much is a gimmick. When I seen it at the store, I thought there's no way this thing is gonna be like a great product just because of how big it is. And it had the gimmick of having like these little pods. Now I can understand if you're an electrician and you don't use a chalk box very often, maybe that might make sense, but I'm definitely just gonna fill that up. There's no reason to do that. It's not that convenient. And like they're kind of expensive. I think they're like $15 for a pod. So I could buy another chalk box for that price. So it doesn't make sense, right? One of the things that's cool, I do like how the reel does sit flat inside this little housing right here, and it kind of comes out, and then you know, you have your little piece right here coming out, which is pretty cool. The hook sits in this little spot right here, but it sits in there so snug that it's hard to get out. And so if I was running and gunning, I don't want to struggle to get this out of there. I mean, maybe it's a skill issue. I can admit that, but I just don't love that. And the fact that it's so big, like look at this compared to the Tajima Chalk Box. This thing's a lot more compact. This thing, it's a lot easier to maneuver. This is gonna fit in your pouch a lot easier. This is gonna have a harder time. I try to run with a little bit, but I just didn't love it. So this is a miss for me when it comes to Klein, but again, maybe if you're not using a chalk box very often, this makes sense, but for me, I think this is a miss. Next, we have the 9-in-1 flip socket set. This thing is awesome and it's very, very compact. And the fact that they added the 5/8 and 3/4 now, it makes this thing like a must-have for almost every carpenter. When I first brought up my 7-in-1, everybody on the job site was very impressed. They wanted to see where I got it. I told them Lowe's, and they were like, Lowe's? You shop at Lowe's? Just on a humbug, I seen this there. So I think this might drive carpenters to Lowe's for this one product by itself. I think it's worth it. Everybody should have one. But my one complaint is sometimes when you're running and gunning and you use this for a little while, the socket sometimes stays with whatever you're fastening. So again, it's something to look out for, because sometimes when you're running around and you're just like using your impact, boom, 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 sometimes you'll leave it and you're like, where did I leave that at? You might be in the rafters or something. So make sure you're constantly watching, because it's very easy for this to come off, especially as this wears on a little bit. But the fact that it has a magnet makes it super sweet. The fact that it can fit on an impact or on one of those Klein screwdrivers so you can hand drive these things, this thing is awesome, and I definitely cannot recommend it enough. I definitely would purchase this if you're a carpenter. Now, the next items are pretty simple. They are voltage testers, and again, as a carpenter, we usually don't mess with electricity. That's not our job. It's for the Sparkies to figure out, but I trust these because they've never let me down. Sometimes we have to demo stuff and we're told that, you know, everything is good to go, but it's good to have something to check for yourself. So being able to plug into an outlet and see if it's good or not, I think it's awesome. And to be able to use this and be able to test to see if something's hot, it's definitely important. I've had guys, electricians, swear something is good to go, you're good to demo, and then they miss something and you easily can get caught up. So just be able to double check. And the fact that this thing right here has a little flashlight on it makes it that much more convenient, especially if you're in like a crawl space or you're in a place where it's very dimly lit, to be able to actually look and see where you're pointing this thing at. This thing is awesome. And this thing has saved me some tools. I've had multiple guys, you know, cut into MC cables and, you know, blow a big ass chunk out of their Klein lineman pliers because they said it wasn't hot, but ended up being hot. So save yourself some time, have a nice voltage tester. I've had other ones where like it's not really clear if it's hot or not. They're kind of blinking. You can't really tell what it's doing. Milwaukee has a weird one, but I think overall this is probably the best one I've seen, and I definitely recommend getting this if you're a carpenter, especially if you're self-performing like demo work or you're doing exploratory cuts. Do yourself a favor, have a voltage tester and have something to check the outlets to make sure you're not putting yourself in harm's way. Now, the next item is a Klein canvas bucket. This thing is really sweet because it can carry 150 pounds. This canvas material is almost like indestructible. I know if you have a little canvas bolt bags, you know what I mean. So this thing is just that, but it's a way bigger size. So it's your bolt bag on steroids. This thing is nice because, again, sometimes you're working off ladders and you want to transport stuff from one level to the other one, or you can clip this on your suspenders and be able to walk around up a ladder with it, so it makes it more convenient. I like the hook on it. This is very, very like a solidly made hook. You can tell it's quality. Again, I don't think Klein makes anything that's not quality for the most part, aside from that chalk box, but I like how everything is tied together, how everything's sewn together. Really good quality stitching, and I like how the bottom, there's a couple holes in the bottom. You can see these holes right here, so if water was to get inside of your bucket, there's a place for it to escape. And also the fact that it has these little feet on the bottom too, so that it's not sitting directly on the ground. I think it definitely is very smart. Again, Klein makes great products. I bought this because one of my coworkers had one and they had it for years, and I thought I want to have something that if I am having to work on the roof, I'm able to put all my tools in here, bring them all up on a rope, and then drop them all down at the end of the day, make it more convenient so I don't have to make 1,000 trips back and forth, especially if it's a longer ladder. So I think it's definitely a good product. And the last item I was very excited about, this is the 20 flip deep weld heavy duty socket set. Now this has the mod box attachment, so if you are buying the Klein storage system, these all fit together. It is cool that a lot of different companies are competing with Milwaukee now with their pack out system to keep them honest, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to start all over again with the Klein, but I do think this is a good product. I like the fact how the latch is like spring loaded, pretty slick, pretty nice. Now the presentation overall, first and foremost, this thing looks sweet. You have the 5 sockets that are metric. It goes from 8 all the way to 18. And then for the Imperial side or the SAE side, you have the 1/4 all the way to the 13/16. Now this thing is really nice. It is similar to, like I talked about before, the 9-in-1 socket set, but these are a little bit deeper. And you have the next adjustment up all the way to 11/16 and to 13/16. So what I do like about this, first and foremost, is just the fact that everything works together so well. It has an adapter for if you have the Klein wrench system. That gives you one option for using these sockets, and it fits right inside of here. It has the 3/8 square drive inside of there, so you put that in there, boom, locks in, which is pretty sweet. And then you either can use the single adapter, and that fits right inside of there, so you can put that on a impact, or you can use again, you can use a screwdriver. Again, Klein makes such nice tools and they're so versatile. Now this is for the single, so if you don't have as much room, or if you want to use the extendo, you can use the bigger one. And then you can also attach another socket. So say if you're jumping back and forth from 13/16 and you need 1/2 inch, you can run both these at the same time, which is pretty sick. That's pretty nice. So then again, they just make very well put together products. I think they're definitely going to be worth it for the long haul. I like that things are versatile. Again, when you only have limited space on your cart or in your toolbox, when things are able to fit together nicely and you have a little storage space right here for maybe some different bits, I think this is a good purchase. It's a little bit expensive. It's a little spendy. It's about $100, or I think I've seen some deals on it before for like $10 off on Amazon, but at Lowe's it's about $100. But these are very well made. And again, to have this be as compact as it is and have it fit all these in here, I think it's definitely worth the purchase. So I think this looks pretty sweet and I liked it. So just letting you guys know, if you guys like the video, please like, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Check you guys next one. Peace.